Hello there, and a very warm welcome to Any Old Book. And today's book we are talking about is Charlaine Harris, Dead Until Dark. I know that's showing the wrong way round on the screen, but what can I do? I could put a mirror up, I guess. Okay, so basically this is the first book that I am going to be talking about for this new channel, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not quite 100% sure how I'm going to do this, but I kind of have a few ideas. So, by the way, just in case you don't know me already, my name's Ellie, and I do have a few different YouTube channels, this being the latest one. So, if you're interested in books and discussing books and all that kind of stuff, then this is the channel for you. Just in case you hear some very strange noises in the background, you will find Sienna and Phantom. Sienna and Phantom probably making some noises. Hey, what do you think, Sienna? What do you think? Are you going to say hello? Are you? Say hello. Oh, look. So, yes. Just in case you don't know already, I am sitting in my camper van, and at the moment I'm in the process of actually moving into the van. I plan to live in it full time. So, quite a lot of work to do at the moment in the van, and lots of work to do emptying my 4-bedroom house. So yes, lots of books will be appearing on the channel. So yes, my idea for this is basically I want to kind of talk about the books, and you know, I go to charity shops and I buy about 10 books at a time. I probably read between 4 and 5 books a week on, you know, the most regular basis, really. So I have hundreds of books and I have hundreds of books to clear out. So what I'm planning on doing is not just saying, oh, you know, do you want to buy this book? But, you know, I want to actually discuss it. I want to talk about the book itself, do a little bit of a read through, maybe just, you know, a couple of pages maybe, give you an idea what the book's like if you haven't read it already. But I would also love to hear from people who have actually read it, and you know, whether you're interested in it, whether it, you know, engaged you, whether it didn't, if there was any good parts, any bad parts, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all start off with reading the bit on the back, and this will tell you about, you know, what the book is about. So let's go. Sookie Stackhouse is a small-time cocktail waitress in small-town Louisiana. She's quiet, keeps herself to herself, and doesn't get out much. Not because she's not pretty, she is. It's just that, well, Sookie has this sort of disability. She can read minds, and that doesn't make her too dateable. And then comes along Bill. He's tall, dark, and handsome, and Sookie can't hear a word he's thinking. He's exactly the type of guy she's been waiting for all her life. But Bill has a disability of his own. He's a vampire. Worse than that, he hangs with a seriously creepy crowd with a reputation for trouble, of the murderous kind. And when one of Sookie's colleagues is killed, she begins to fear she'll be next. So that's what the book's about. I have to be honest and say I have read this book before. I have actually, you know, read most of the True Blood series, and I have watched some of the films as well. I'm a bit of a vampire fan. That's hard to say. A vampire fan. So yeah, I do quite like my vampire books. And this one, whenever it first came out, whenever True Blood first came out, I did quite enjoy it. You know, I think I watched the film, and I did quite enjoy it at the time. This time, I don't know whether it's just because, you know, I'm a bit older. I'm no longer a teenager. And maybe these books are aimed more at teenagers. Or it was just because I read a really intense book beforehand. So this book seemed a little bit kind of, it didn't really, you know, get my brain going just as much as some of the others I've read recently. But let's have a little bit of a read. Oh, first of all, on the inside cover, you can see there are quite a few of the True Blood books. There's a list here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 actually, which I definitely haven't read all 10 of them. I probably would read some of the others. But I'd love to know if you have read some of the others. There's Sookie Stackhouse, Dead Until Dark, which is this one. Living Dead in Dallas, Club Dead, Dead to the World, Dead as a Doornail, Definitely Dead, Altogether Dead, From Dead to Worse, Dead and Gone. Okay, I think it's about dead. So, yeah, if you've read any of those, I would love to know what you thought of those as well. Would you recommend them? Would you not recommend them? There's also a few books there by Harper Connolly. So, I'm not quite sure. Is that just under a different pen name, maybe? I don't know. But there is Grave Sight, Grave Surprise, and Ice Cold Grave, and Grave Secret. So, if you've read any of those, I would love to know about that as well. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of reading. So, chapter 1. I'd been waiting for the vampire for years when he walked into the bar. Ever since vampires came out of the coffin, as they laughingly put it, 4 years ago, I'd hoped one would come into Bon Temps. We had all the other minorities in our little town, so why not the newest, the legally recognised undead? But rural northern Louisiana wasn't too tempting to vampires, apparently. On the other hand, New Orleans was a real centre for them. The whole Anne Rice thing, right? I do love my Anne Rice books. It's not that long a drive from Bon Temps to New Orleans, and everyone who came into the bar said that if you threw a rock on a street corner, you would hit one, though you better not. But I was waiting for my own vampire. You can tell I don't get out much, and it's not because I'm not pretty. I am. I'm blonde and blue-eyed. I'm 25. My legs are strong and my bosom is substantial, and I have a waspy waistline. Good for her. I look good in the warm weather waitress outfit Sam picked for us. Black shorts, white tee, white socks, black Nikes. But I have a disability. That's how I try to think of it. The bar patrons just say I'm crazy. Either way, the result is that I almost never have a date. So little treats count a lot with me. And he sat at one of my tables, the vampire. I knew immediately what he was. It amazed me when no one else turned around to stare. They couldn't tell. But to me, his skin had a little glow, and I just knew. I could have danced with joy, and in fact I did do a little step right there by the bar. Sam Berlotti, my boss, looked up from the drink he was mixing and gave me a tiny smile. I grabbed my tray and pad and went over to the vampire's table. I hoped that I hoped that my lipstick was still even and my ponytail was still neat. I'm kind of tense, and I could feel my smile yanking the corners of my mouth up. He seemed lost in thought, and I had a chance to give him a good once over before he looked up. He was a little under 6 feet, I estimated. He had thick brown hair, combed straight back and brushing his collar, and his long sideburns seemed curiously out of fashion. He was pale, of course. Hey, he was dead, if you believe the old tales. The politically correct theory, the one the vamps themselves publicly backed, had it that this guy was the victim of a virus that left him apparently dead for a couple of days and therefore allergic to sunlight, silver and garlic. The details depended on which newspaper you read. They were all full of vampire stuff these days. Anyway, his lips were lovely, sharply sculpted, and he had arched dark brows. His nose swept right down out of that arch like a prince's in a, can't pronounce this, in a Byzantine mosaic. When he finally looked up, I saw his eyes were even darker than his hair, and the whites were incredibly white. Okay, so that's the first sort of 2 pages, basically, of the book. If you haven't read it, would that encourage you to read it? Is it something that you would be interested in? Does it make you think, oh, I can't be bothered with that? Is it another vampire book? Are they all the same? Have you read the Anne Rice books? You know, I don't know. Just tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of this book. If you've read it, if you haven't read it, are you interested in reading it? Now, I don't know what to do about the books that I've got. What I probably will do is give them away. I might say about selling them for maybe 50p each or something like that, but the postage on them is going to be a couple of pounds. So, and that's only in the UK. I think it's about £3 now to post a book. So, you know, I have one copy, obviously, and what I'm going to do actually is I will offer it to, you know, anybody who wants it, who's in the UK, and if it doesn't sell within, you know, a week or 2, then I'll just take it back to the charity shop. How's that? Now, if you do buy it, then that money is going to be used to buy more books from the charity shop anyway, so, you know, we're supporting charities no matter what way we do it. Yeah, so that's it. That's the first video done for Any Old Book, and we're talking Charlaine Harris, Dead Until Dark. So that's me. That's it for now. If you enjoyed the video, do let me know, and hopefully you'll give me a little thumbs up and maybe subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, take care now. I'll see you for the next book very soon. Okay, bye.